गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् आगे क्या है सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. We are in Prashnopanishad and we are looking at the fifth question, not fourth. Fifth question. This is question 3. Tritiya. Sorry, I have to take out the question. Chaturtha Prashna. And we are in the fifth shloka. Third, fourth, अत्रैष देवः स्वप्ने महिमानमनुभवति यद्दृष्टं दृष्टमनुपश्यति श्रुतं श्रुतमेवार्थम् अनुशृणोति देशदिगन्तरैश्च प्रत्यनुभूतं पुनः पुनः प्रत्यनुभवति दृष्टं चादृष्टं च श्रुतं चाश्रुतं च अनुभूतं चानुभूतं च सच्च सर्वं पश्यति सर्वपश्यति. So here we are looking at the in the fifth verse, that the question was, who is the Deva, who is awake in the dream state, or in the who enjoys the power of the dream. So here it was told the God enjoys the power in the dream, and he sees whatever has been seen before. And here each one, as we saw, what was that? अत्रैव देव सपने महिमानम अनुभवति यद दृष्टम अनुपश्यति. Whatever he has seen in the waking state, that alone, the remnants he sees in the dream state. Shrutam evartham anushrunoti. Whatever he has heard in the waking, some remnants of it he listens to them in the dream state, and so on. Puna puna pratyanubhavati, meaning again and again he keeps experiencing whatever has been seen, heard, touched, felt, etc., and enjoyed, and therefore there it says, drishtam cha, shrutam cha, anubhutam cha, Satcha Satcha Sarvam Pashyati Sarva Pashyati. In other words, that becoming all, whatever is drashta, drishtam cha, and so on, it sees all that all that have been, meaning he sees or it sees all that has been seen, and what was the other word? Shrutam cha, anubhutam cha, and they say satcha sarvam pashyati. Sat and asat, both that which is seen, that which is experienced, that which is known, and that which is unknown, and that which is heard, unheard, perceived, unperceived, real, unreal, everything, it is alone. It becomes all. And this is how, and this is our experience, that in the dream our mind alone becomes that which is seen and that is not seen. It sees the various objects in the dream, and it is also the absence between the objects in the dream. It is all the words in the dream, but it is also the absence of words, speech in the dream. So in this way, it is the waking also, the dream also, and the deep sleep also of the dream person, one object which is appearing in the dream. One person appearing in the dream, or many people appearing in the dream. They are going through their waking dream and deep sleep. This fellow is experiencing all of them. How come? By pervading it all. And in this way, we did, I think we finished, or we didn't. Let me check. Did we finish the Bhashya? You don't
No,
know.
Swamiji.
Huh?
No.
Nahin, huh?
We were still on it.
We are still on it, that's right. I'm just trying to find out where we were. हाँ, यहाँ पे थे. बृहदारण्य के उपनिषद कर लिया, न तरी. हाँ, एवं तरी.
We were on page 62.
पेज नहीं, आपका बुक अलग है, मेरा बुक अलग है. पेज 62, एक मिनट. पेज 62. एवं तरही. हाँ. So here it says, जो पूर्व पक्षी न अर्थैकत्वस्येष्टत्वाद् एको ही आत्मा सर्व वेदांतानाम अर्थो विजिज्ञापयिषितो बभुत्सितश्च तस्माद् युक्ता स्वप्न आत्मानः स्वयं ज्योतिष्ठोपपत्ति पपत्तिर्वक्तुम् श्रुतेः यथार्थ तत्व प्रकाशकत्वात्. तो here the student says, no, it is not like what was it? You are just the Purva Pakshi, the argumentator, he is saying you are just telling that reality can be understood half and half not. No, you have not. The teacher says, no, you have not understood at all. For the student, then at that time when this discussion is going on, another student pokes his nose in between and he says, maybe the statement are from different Upanishads, so they may be discussing different Atmas. So the teacher says, no, it is not like that. The seeker must experience the self within himself. There is no question of different Atmas. And this way, or the other student, this discussion is going on, and then the teacher, here he says, evam tarhi shunu shrutyartham hitva sarvam abhimanam na swabhimanena वर्षशतेनापि श्रुत्यर्थ ज्ञातुं शक्यते सर्वैः पंडितं मन्यैः यथा मन्यैः. So he says, listen, the teacher says, and he says, here the Siddhant is being given. If you want to, he says, if you want to understand the scriptures, then you have to give up your ignorance and listen to me, the teacher is saying. Let me just go back. So, yeah, here it is written na, shunu evam tari shunu shrutyartham hitva sarvam abhimanam. Hitva means kill your abhiman, kill your arrogance, kill your ego. Na tvabhimanena varsha shatenapi shrutyartho jnatum shakyate sarvaihi panditam manyaihi. All the wise people say that if you study, if you listen with arrogance, if you have if you listen with ignorance, or if you want to understand the scriptures, you have to give up your arrogance, you have to give up your ignorance and listen to the teacher. The scriptures are to be studied only through Shravanam, not by Pathanam, not by reading books. Scriptures have to be studied only by listening. You can have the book on the side. After listening, then you interact with the book, not first interact with the book. So here he says, Yatha hridayakashe puritati nadishu cha swapataha tat sambandha bhavatataha vivicya darshayitum shakyata ityatmanah swayam jyotishvam na badhyate. Here he says, when Atma is explained, one moment, बाध्यते एवं मनस्य विद्याकाम कर्म निमित्तोद भूत वासनावती कर्म निमित्ता वासना विद्यायान यद्वस्त्वन्तरमिव पश्यतः सर्वकार्यकरणेभ्यः प्रविविक्तस्य द्रष्टुर्वासनाभ्यः दृश्यरूपाभ्यः अन्यत्वेन स्वयं ज्योतिष्ठं सुदपीतेनापि तार्किकेण न वारयितुं शक्यते. Here he says, let's see what he says. It says, anyone who believes that he is a Pandit, that he is more intelligent than the teacher, then or he sings his own glory that I have studied this, I have known this, I have known that. Even if he studies the scriptures for 100 years, even then he will not be able to understand, because scriptures are understood only through a teacher. Just like the atma can never be covered by the dream or by the experiences, because atma is swam prakashatva, meaning it is self-illuminating, and so, in other words, that here it is said that when Atma is explained as expressing through the Indriyas, etc., where is the question of doubt? So, self illumined status of the reality is further proved. And here it is told that all conditionings are illumined by the self, whether it is the body, the senses, the karmendriyas, the pranas, the mind, the intellect, everything is illumined by the self, and there is nothing other than itself. So self is, and therefore we can conclude what? That the self is other than the upadhis. There is some life, some conscious principle which is other than the body, some conscious principle which is other than the senses and the karmendriyas, some conscious principle other than the coming and going of the thoughts. There is some other conscious principle which knows the formation of a concept and dissolution of a concept. The one who knows that the waking comes and goes, the dream comes and goes, the sleep comes and goes. There is someone who knows. So therefore it has been established that the self is other than the upadhis. So no arrogant person can reject the self-illumined status of the self. What is that? Swayam Jyotitva. So therefore the conclusion, what is the conclusion? That the tasmat, where are we? तस्मात् साधुक्तं मनसि प्रलीनेषु करणेषु अप्रलीने च मनसि मनोमय स्वप्नान् पश्यतीति. So here it is told that therefore dream is a state of mind and not of the self. This is the conclusion. Here they are talking about something more. I am giving you the essence of it. Here he is saying what? That there is the cause and effect is only in the mind and not in the self. But the one who is knowing the cause and effect, that appearance and disappearance, inside and outside, the appearance of dream, appearance of waking, absence of both, all this is known. And there we are creating a cause and effect, that the deep sleep is the cause and waking and dream is the effect. And this way someone knows that, and that someone who knows is other than the thoughts, is other than the impressions that are bringing about the experience of the dream and the waking. The What is that which is bringing the experience of the waking and the dream? Here it is called that it is the vasana, and therefore so when the indriyas merge back into the mind, or and when the mind also dissolves itself, uh, uh, and when mind does not dissolve, that time it is very difficult to say that it is the atma which is taking the roop, that is taking the form of the mind and looking at the dream. And therefore here it says what? Tasmat sadhruktam manasi pralineshu karneshu apraline cha manasi manomaya swapnan pashyati iti. So we have told you before what? That the consciousness with reference to object is called the mind. Where is the object coming, appearing? It is happening in the mind. So mind is nothing but pure consciousness. It is just appearing as a when we say it is a mind, means it is a container where the thoughts are coming and going, experiences are coming and going, knowledge is coming and going, waking dream sleep is coming, waking dream and deep sleep is coming and going. So yes, we can talk about that in the sleep, the indriyas, the senses, they merge back into the mind. But if in the dream, mind has not dissolved yet. We are not talking about sleep. In the sleep, the mind has dissolved. In the dream, mind has not dissolved yet. So, what is happening there? It is very difficult to say, but we will say it. What is that? Maybe, not maybe, it is difficult to say that if it is the atma which is appearing in the form of the mind and watching the dream, and the question mark is put there. Continuing with the katham mahimanam anubhavati iti uchyate. The student say how mind experiences its glory. What is the glory? Right now, the glory of the mind is that the mind has projected each one of your mind, or that one mind. It has projected the teacher on one side, the student on the other side, has projected the scriptures, and the interaction is going on, and the mind is enjoying. So, mind itself has become the teacher, mind itself has become the student, mind itself is the scripture, and the teaching is going on, and this is the glory, this is the vibhuti of the mind. So, anyway, I'm preempting it. Let's see what they say. Yan mitram putradi va purvam drishtam tad vasana vasitah putra mitradi vasana samudbhutam putra mitramiva putra mitramiva miva va vidyaya pashyatiti evam manyate. Those impressions experienced by mind from before are seen. He is explaining what is that, how mind experiences its own glory. The mind so just let me read what he's saying. So, in other words, the mind experiences the stored vasanas again and again as if. That is very important. As if. There is nothing called vasanas. the whole projection of waking and dream is only as if. There's only the truth. For mind, it's all the same. This life or past life, this waking experience or past experiences. Mind is not a discontinuous entity. Mind is a continuous entity. Mind is continuous, and therefore, and what is this mind? Mind is that on which the various experiences are superimposed as, and here, how just like all the songs are superimposed on a tape, on a cassette, same way all the impressions are superimposed on the mind, and in this way, so whether the songs are there on the cassette or the songs are not there on the cassette, it makes no difference to the tape. Similarly, whether there are thoughts on the mind or there are no thoughts in the mind, it doesn't make any difference to the mind. Whether there is waking and dream or there is no waking and dream, that is deep sleep state, it does not make any difference to the mind. So another way to put it, just as the different songs do not make a difference to the tape, similarly, different impressions, different objects, different experiences do not make the difference to the mind. Now you assess where you are. Are the experiences of the world making a difference to your mind? Yes. Then correct your angle of approach. And therefore, and thus, mind is constantly experiencing from many lives together, like, and what it is, and how it's like the mirage waters again and again. It is the mind keeps on experiencing something that which does not exist. Therefore, the seer and seen nothing but the mind alone. So we have seen that in our Amrita Anubhav, subject and object are both the vibhuti of the one Atma. The Parama Shiva alone expresses as if as Shiva Shakti. Similarly, that Atma alone expresses as the subject and the object. And the moment you say there is subject and object, then that Paramatma or that Atma is called as, takes the position of the mind with reference to subject and object. Is it possible? No. Yet it is our experience. This is the Shakti, this is the Maya, this is the Vibhuti, the glory, whichever way you may put it. And in this way, सच्च परमार्थोदकादि असच्च मरीच्युदकादि किं बहुनोक्तानुक्तं सर्वं पश्यति सर्वमनोवासनोपाधिः सन्नेवं सर्वकरणात्मा मनोदेवः स्वप्नान् पश्यति. So in this way, the example of the mirage waters was given, and it says, what more can we say, as the appearance of the uh, mirage waters cannot be denied. Your eyes are seeing it, but actually it is not there. Similarly, that everything that was told above, all the things. What are all the things? The senses, the organs of action, the body, the mind, the waking, the dream, the sleep, the various, whatever is seen, heard, felt, tasted, etc., conceptualized, all that is seen as the projection or the vasana of the mind, and he observes the whole thing with the instrument of the mind. He himself becomes the instrument of the mind. He himself becomes the, as if he himself becomes the subject and the object, and without getting affected by what is going on in the mind, he keeps watching it in this way. That deva, that entity, that subject, that eternal subject, that witnessing subject, that deva here is told as deva, he keeps watching the dream. And now, having told the dream, now the deep sleep case is taken. Sa yada tejasa vibhuto oh, okay, we have to repeat, no? स यदा तेजसा विभूतो, स यदा तेजसा विभूतो भवत्यत्रैष देवः, भवत्यत्रैष देवः स्वप्नान्न पश्यति, स्वप्नान्न पश्यति, अथ तदैतस्मिन् शरीरे तदैतत् तस्मिन् शरीरे एतत् सुखं भवति, एतत् सुखं भवति. Together. स यदा तेजसा विभूतो भवत्यत्रैष देवः स्वप्नान्न पश्यति, अथ तदैतत् तस्मिन् शरीरे एतत् सुखं भवति. एतत् सुखं भवति. When the mind at the time when the mind is overcome by the power, that time this atma deva, that time this deva, that time this atma deva, that time this witnessing consciousness does not see the dream. Now we are talking what we were saying before in the previous verse. We are looking at the moment between when the indriyas, when the senses have withdrawn to the mind, but the mind has not withdrawn yet. Now, how do you get into the deep sleep? What is the state of deep sleep, if it is there? Let's see. So here it is telling, when the mind is overcome by the power, by the Shakti, by the here the word used is Tejasa Vibhuto, Tejasa, the effulgence, the power. Because remember, Shiva, Shakti. So here that Tejas is the Shakti. At that time, this Deva, he does not cannot see the dream. Again, what was the dream? We already told you, it is all the projection, all the vasanas. Are there anything called vasanas? No. Then why are you talking about vasanas? Is there anything called mirage waters? No. But are we not talking about mirage waters? Are we not talking about waves? Is there anything called wave? No, there is only water. Then why are you talking about waters? Is there anything called blueness of the sky? No, then why are you talking about the blueness of the sky? exactly the same way. Is there anything called vasanas? No. Then why are we talking about it? Because we are experiencing it. We have to put it in its place. But our goal is not to prove or unprove vasanas. Our goal is to be the atma. Our goal here in this question is to find out first what was the waking state, who is experiencing the waking state, who is experiencing the dream state, who is that deva, and now to the deep sleep. And when this deva, he does not see anything, he does not experience anything as a dream, then at that time in this body he experiences great bliss, and that is what is told here. स यदा मनोरूपो देवो यस्मिन् काले सौरेण पित्ताख्येन तेजसा नाडीशयेन सर्वतः अभिभूतो भवति तिरस्कृतवासनाद्वारो भवति तदा सहकरणैः मनसो रश्मयो हृद्युपसंहृता भवन्ति. He is saying that now this mind, when it is under the influence of the pitta, what is pitta? The solar rays. What are the solar rays? The tejasa. What is tejasa? It is the acidity within the body. Where is the acidity? It is within all your nerves. At that time, overpowered by it, and what is this? And what is this acidity? What is this? This is tejasa. Also can be used the word as a consciousness. Overpowered by it, influencing, and this consciousness then influences the nerves, then the mind. Then the mind is not able to express the various vasanas. Just like when we are in front of the heat, then the body does not experience the cold. Similarly, when the consciousness or the tejas overpowers the whole body, then the mind is not able to experience the various vasanas. Then at that time what happens? At that time all the rays of the mind get absorbed in the heart. Let's read what he says. मनसो रश्मयो हृद्युपसंहृता भवन्ति तदा सहकरणैः. So that time just like at the sunset, all the rays of the sun go back to the sun. Similarly, at this time when the deep sleep comes, when the nidra, when the nidra comes, all the rays of the consciousness, they merge back into the consciousness, meaning they go back to the heart. Continuing, यदा मनो दार्व अग्नि वद विशेष विज्ञान रूपेण कृत्स्नं शरीरं व्याप्यावतिष्ठते तदा सुषुप्तो भवति. अत्रैव तस्मिन् काल एष मन आख्यः देवः स्वप्नान् न पश्यति दर्शनद्वारस्य निरुद्धत्वात् तेजसा. I'll read the whole thing, then I'll explain. अथ तदेतस्मिन् शरीर एतत् सुखं भवति यद् विज्ञानं निराबाधम् अविशेषेण शरीर व्यापकं प्रसन्नं भवति इति अर्थः. He says that the that time all the rays of mind get absorbed in the heart. This is sushupti avastha. This is the sleep state, deep sleep state. Jiva in heart projects the mind, and mind experiencing outside. How does the mind experience the outside? Through the jnanendriyas. Is called waking experience. And when it withdraws all senses, but mind's habit of projecting continues, then one has dream experience. And when nadis are overpowered by pitta, the sushupti avastha takes place. And here another example is taken. Just as fire is permeating the total world of total wood, same way mind is permeating the gross body and merged in gross body. So mind is present but not allowed to express. Where? In dream. So mind is present but not allowed to express. Well, not dream, sorry, in deep sleep. In deep sleep the mind is present but it is not allowed to project. It is not allowed to imagine, or whatever project we will say. So mind is present but not allowed to express itself, and this is the sushupti avastha. Therefore sushupti avastha, the conclusion is that the sushupti avastha also belongs to the mind. So self, this is our experience now. So the self illuminates the waking triputi. What is the waking triputi? The waker, the waking world, and the waking experience. The self illuminates the dream triputi, the dreamer, the dream world, and the dream experience. And the third is the absence of triputi is deep sleep. And this way in the deep sleep, the ability of the mind to the ability of the mind to see the multiplicity, that door is closed now, and now the mind has become one with the total body without differentiation from body. Thus at that moment the mind becomes tensionless and totally free and relaxed, and that is the bliss that one experiences in deep sleep. Oh my God, all this we did not know. Huh? All this we did not know. So read it again and again. Now what we have explained here, that student was asking, who is awake? Who is experiencing? What is the true position of this Deva? So we have explained what is the waking. The object of experience is outside. The thought of the object of knowledge is outside, and the thought of knowledge is inside. In the dream, the object of knowledge is in the mind, and the thought of knowledge is also in the mind. And what is deep sleep? All the thought of object and the object of thought both are absent, meaning triputi is absent. In the waking, the triputi, the subject is in, the object is outside. In dream, the subject is also inside, the object is also inside. The instrument also is inside, in the mind. In the deep sleep, all of them are zilch, zero. So, conclusion is all this is known to us. And who is that who knows? It is the witnessing consciousness or the atma. Then where are these experiences of waking dream and nidra, the deep sleep going on, sushupti going on? They are going on in the mind. Is the mind affected by waking dream and deep sleep? No. Every day waking dream, deep sleep is coming and going. Mind continues to be the mind. Then who is this idiot? And this is your knowledge, that you are observing waking dream and deep sleep come and go every day. Then who is this idiot who gets affected, who is attached to only the waking people, only the waking husband and wife, only the waking children, only the waking house? Reassess your data. That's why we have come to the Upanishad, or the Upanishad has come to us to shake us up, to wake us up. So, in deep sleep, all the bondages on account of bondage, actions, indriyas, etc., all of them become quietened. In deep sleep we are talking about. And at that time, all the upadhis means conditionings, all the conditionings of the self are becoming undifferentiated in the deep sleep, and thus self experiences itself. The body has quietened, the mind has quietened, the senses have merged into the mind has merged in the sense that it is not allowed to project the thought of knowledge and the object of knowledge, both. The mind has also become quiet, and when everything becomes quiet, there is no agitation, there is no friction, there is no restlessness within the body and the mind. At that time, the self experiences itself, and that is called Param Shantam. That is the where are we? Prasannam bhavati iti artaha. Then the self is experiencing itself. एतस्मिन् काले अविद्या काम कर्म निबध्नानि कार्यकारणानि शान्तानि भवन्ति, तेषु शान्तेषु आत्मस्वरूपम् उपाधिभिः अन्यथा विभाव्यमानम् अद्वयमेकं शिवं शान्तं भवति। एताम् एव अवस्थां पृथिव्याद्य विद्याकृतमात्रानुप्रवेशेन दर्शयितुं दृष्टान्तमाह। At that moment, when everything is collapsing, the mind is not allowed to manifest, our mind is not allowed to project, the self is experiencing as if is abiding in itself. At that time, avidya, kama, karma, meaning ignorance, desires and actions which are the part of the body. Body means gross, subtle and causal. of the body, and the indriyas, all of them become absolutely quiet. And when they become absolutely quiet, that again the same thing is being repeated, that on account of them becoming quiet, the atma, because the upadhis uh, which were being experienced as separate to yourself, now they are not hijacking the atma, and there is nothing to hijack the atma away. And therefore that atma, whose nature is uh, uh, one without a second, it is one, it is auspicious, and it is peace itself. It's quiet, it's conscious silence, it becomes quiet. So before, the dreamer is active, the waker is active. In deep sleep, the atma is established in itself. Therefore, so now here it says, therefore, the earth, etc., meaning all the expressions of ignorance, or the various objects of experience, and where do they all go? Where do all the experiences go? And those experiences were possible only because of the various avasthas. So where do the avasthas go? To explain that, now the 7th verse is taken. So who goes where is told in this 7th verse. Here it is told. What does it say? Oh, yeah. He says, Sayatha Saumya Vayansi Vaso Vriksham Sampratishtante Evam Havai Evam Havai Tat Sarvam Para Atmani Pratishthate Param Atmani Sampratishthate. Together. Sa yatha Saumya Vayansi Vaso Vriksham Sampratishthante Evam Havai Tat Sarvam Para Atmani Sampratishthate. The teacher is saying, Hey Saumya, Sa yatha Saumya Vayansi Vaso Vriksham. He is giving a example, and in that example he says, as the birds go back to their own tree, same way, all which will be told in the next mantra go back to pure self. Which mantra? 8th mantra. So, when the evening comes, you also go to your own bed. Everyone, wherever night falls, everyone goes to their bed. Similarly, here the example taken is, all the birds go back to their own tree at the time of dusk. Same way, all that which will be told in the next mantra also goes back to the pure self, not anywhere else. Does not go back to ego, does not go back anywhere. Everything comes out of the pure. Well, actually from the pure self nothing can come out, but there is an appearance of coming out. There is an appearance of the blueness of the sky. There is an appearance of the mirage waters. There is an appearance of the waves. But actually, no wave has ever come out of water, and no wave has ever gone back to water. Why? It is always before, during and after, it is water alone. So how can it come out and how can it go back? सदृष्टान्तो यथा येन प्रकारेण सौम्य प्रिय दर्शन वयांसी पक्षिणो वासार्थं वृक्षं वासो वृक्षं प्रति संप्रतिष्ठन्ते गच्छन्ति एवं यथा दृष्टान्तो ह वै तद् वक्ष्यमाणं सर्वं पर आत्मन्यक्षरे संप्रतिष्ठते. And exactly what we have, the verse, he has just said a few extra words towards it. So here the word that is used is sarvam para atmani akshare sampratisthate. So everything goes back to that sarva, which is the one without a second, that which is all. And what is that all? What is that sarvatita? That is the essence of everything, that is the atma. And what is its nature? Akshara. Akshara means that which cannot be reduced. Kshara, reduction is possible. Akshara, no reduction is possible, no modification is possible, no projection is possible, no change is possible. That is the nature of Atma. In that Atma, everything goes back and settles down. Arey Baba, if nothing is possible to be modified in the Atma, then how come everything came out and how come everything is going back? सोचने वाली बात है. If water is water alone, then how come out of the water ocean and the waves have come out? And we are calling it by different names, but actually it is all water only. From water's point of view, nothing has happened. But from our point of view, wave is appearing out of the water, wave is staying in the water, wave is going back to the water. This is the ignorance. This is the either you can take it as ignorance or you can take it as vibhuti, glory. Kim tat sarvam. What is all this? Where does it go back? So here it is telling, it's a long mantra. Have patience. Prithvi cha prithvi matra cha, prithvi cha prithvi matra cha, apashchapo matra cha, apashchapo matra cha, तेजश्च तेजो मात्रा च, तेजश्च तेजो मात्रा च, वायुश्च वायु मात्रा च, वायुश्च वायु मात्रा च, आकाशश्चाकाश मात्रा च, आकाशश्चाकाश मात्रा च, चक्षुषं द्रष्टव्यं च, चक्षुश्च द्रष्टव्यं च, श्रोत्रं च श्रोतव्यं च, श्रोत्रं च श्रोतव्यं च, घ्राणं च घ्रातव्यं च, घ्राणं च घ्रातव्यं च, रसश्च रसयितव्यं च, रसश्च रसयितव्यं च, त्वक् च स्पर्शयित्वं च, त्वक् च स्पर्शयित्वं च, त्वक् च स्पर्शयितव्यं च, वाक् च वक्तव्यं च, वाक् च वक्तव्यं च, हस्तौ च दातव्यं च, हस्तौ च दातव्यं च, उपस्थश्चानन्दयितव्यं च, उपस्थानन्दयितव्यं च, पायुश्च विसर्जयितव्यं च, पायुश्च विसर्जयितव्यं च, पादौ च गन्तव्यं च, पादौ च गन्तव्यं च, मनश्च मन्तव्यं च, मनश्च मन्तव्यं च, बुद्धिश्च बोधव्यं च, बुद्धिश्च बोधव्यं च, अहंकारश्चाहंकार भोक्तव्यं च अहंकारश्चाहंकर्तव्यं च चित्तं च चेतयितव्यं च चित्तं च चेतयितव्यं च तेजश्च विद्योतयितव्यं च तेजश्च विद्योतयितव्यं च प्राणश्च विधारयितव्यं च प्राणश्च विधारयितव्यं च. So what is all that? Where do they go back? So here it is told. So what does it say? It says, पृथ्वी च पृथ्वी मात्रा च, the earth and its subtle elements, आपश्च apo matra cha, water and its subtle elements, then tejascha tejo matra cha, light and its subtle elements, vayuscha vayu matra cha, the air and its subtle elements, akashascha akasha matra cha, the ether or the space and its subtle elements, then चक्षुष्ट द्रष्टव्यं च श्रोत्रं च श्रोत्रव्यं च घ्राणं च घ्रातव्यं च रसश्च रसयितव्यं च त्वक् च स्पर्शयितव्यं च. And in this way the five senses are taken, the eyes and what can be seen, the smell and what can be smelt, the taste and what can be tasted, the touch and what can be touched, and then vakcha vaktavyam cha, speech and the organ of speech and what can be spoken, hastau cha adatavyam cha, and hands and what can be held or taken, then upasthashchanandaditavyam cha, and then the organ of generation and its object of enjoyment, the payushcha visarjayitavyam cha, and the organ of excretion and what can be excreted, then padau cha gantavyam cha, padau cha gantavyam cha, and the feet and what can be walked upon, the mind and what can be thought of, mantavyam cha, manascha mantavyam cha, buddhischa bodhavyam cha, and the intellect and what can be idealized, conceptualized, comprehended, etc. And then ahankarascha ahankaratavyam cha, and the ego and the object of egoism, and then chittam cha chetayitavyam cha, then the memory and its object, and then tejascha vidyotayitavyam cha, and the light and what can be lighted up, and the last one the pranas and what can be what they sustain, and therefore pranascha vidharayitavyam cha, the whatever the pranas and whatever they are sustaining, whatever they are taking care of, all these rest in the atma in deep sleep. All these go back to the atma, because atma is one without a second. So don't think that they have gone anywhere else. They have gone back to the Atma, therefore you are experiencing the bliss. In other words, if I put it in, a, in the essence, all grossified and ungrossified elements go back to their source. All jnanendriyas, karmendriyas, mind, intellect, uh, uh, concepts and the ahankar and all things he wanted to do, the chetana, the expression of chetana, go back to the self. The tejas is the brightness of life seen on a dynamic person who is in the waking plane, and that also is absorbed in deep sleep and goes back to the self. This is all that can be spoken of as karya karana lakshana, as the cause and effect. The eternal cause is the atma, and everything goes back to the eternal cause. Understand, the teacher has answered it in this way. We'll read it again. The same thing is being told, but because we are reading the bhashya, might as well read it. पृथ्वी च स्थूला पंचगुणा तत्कारणा च पृथ्वी मात्रा च गंध तन्मात्रा तथा पश्चापो चापो मात्रा च तेजस्त चेजो मात्रा च वायुश्च वायु मात्रा च आकाशश्चाकाश मात्रा च स्थूलानि च सूक्ष्माणि च भूतानि इति अर्थः। तथा चक्षुश्चैन्द्रियं रूपं च द्रष्टव्यं च श्रोत्रं च श्रोतव्यं च घ्राणं च घ्रातव्यं च रसश्च रसयितव्यं च त्वक् च स्पर्शयितव्यं च वाक् च वक्तव्यं च हस्तौ चादातव्यं च उपस्थाश्चानन्दयितव्यं च पायुश्च विसर्जयितव्यं च पादौ च गन्तव्यं च बुद्धीन्द्रियाणि कर्मेन्द्रियाणि तथा च उक्तानि मनश्च पूर्वोक्तं मन्तव्यं च तद्विषयः। बुद्धिश्च निश्चयात्मिका बुद्धिश्च बुद्धयात्मिका बोद्धव्यं च तद्विषयः। अहङ्कारश्चाभिमानलक्षणमन्तः करणमहङ्कर्तव्यं च तद्विषयः। चित्तं च चेतना वदन्तः करणं चेतयितव्यं च तद्विषयः। तेजस्तत्त्वगिन्द्रिय व्यतिरेकेण प्रकाशविशिष्टाया त्वक्तया निर्भास्यो विषयो विद्योतयितव्यं। प्राणश्च सूत्रं यदा चक्षते तेन विधारयितव्यं सग्रन्थनीयं सर्वं हि कार्यकरणजातं परार्थ्येन संहतं नामरूपात्मकमेतावदेव। So, in the other words, all the names and forms during the deep sleep, all the names and forms, everything that we have named here, and their expressions and their object, their vishayas, everything. If this is the vision, there is all the color and form are the vision, objects, vishaya. So, like that, the whole list, it all goes back to the self alone, atma alone. Atah param yadatma rupam jala सूर्यकादिवद् भोक्तृत्व कर्तृत्वेन इह अनुप्रविष्टम. Now, this has all happened to Upadhi. So, what has come out and what has gone back? Nothing has happened to Atma. Atma is complete. All this coming and going, manifestation and unmanifestation is of the conditionings, upadhi. Now, the self was reflecting as the reflected consciousness. Now, what has happened to the reflected consciousness, that is the Chidabhas, that will be told. So, example, what has happened to the sun was reflecting in the waters as the reflected sun. When the water is gone back to the Atma, what will happen to the reflection of the sun? What will happen to the reflected sun? If there are 100 pots with water, and the pot and the water in the pot has gone back to its source, what will happen to the reflected sun in each pot? We are the pot. This is told here now. It says, एष हि द्रष्टा स्पृष्टा श्रोता घ्राता, एष हि द्रष्टा स्पृष्टा श्रोता घ्राता, रसयिता मंता बोधा कर्ता, रसयिता मंता बोधा कर्ता, विज्ञानात्मा पुरुषः, विज्ञानात्मा पुरुषः, सपरे अक्षरे आत्मनि संप्रतिष्ठते, सपरे अक्षरे आत्मनि संप्रतिष्ठते. Important point. Again we'll together. एष हि द्रष्टा स्पृष्टा श्रोता घ्राता, रसयिता मंता बोधा कर्ता, विज्ञानात्मा पुरुषः, सपरे अक्षरे आत्मनि संप्रतिष्ठते. This seer, feeler, hearer, smeller, taster, thinker, feeler, and doer, he alone is the Purusha. That this individual, this is the word used is Vijnanatma Purusha. Atma with conditionings is called as Purusha. So this Jivatma, Atma with conditionings is called Jivatma. This Jivatma, this is the natural phenomena going on. You cannot do anything about it. You can do something about ego, but you cannot do anything about Jivatma. Jivatma is the natural expression of the phenomena of life. Atma is the substratum, just like water is the substratum, and out of it the waves are appearing. Nothing can be done about it, individual waves. So what happens to the individuality? That is being told here, that this individual, he goes and becomes one with the the Atma. This is what is told. The Jivatma in the deep sleep goes back to the Atma and becomes one with it. Esha hi drashta sprashta shrota घ्राता रसयिता मंता बोधा कर्ता विज्ञानात्मा विज्ञानम विज्ञानयते अनेनेति करणभूतम बुद्ध्यादिदम तु विजानातीति विज्ञानम कर्तृकार रूपम कारक रूपम तदात्मा तत्स्वभावो विज्ञातृ स्वभाव इति अर्थः. I'll just read the whole thing. पुरुषः कार्य कारण संघातो उपाधि पूर्णत्वात् पुरुषः स च जल सूर्यकादि प्रतिबिंबस्य सूर्यादि प्रवेशवत् जगदाधार शेषे परे अक्षर आत्मनि प्रतिष्ठते. So here it says, one moment, I'm just trying to work it out. What it says is, this jiva who was functioning through the upadhis, through the conditionings, as the seer, listener, doer, etc., what happens to this jivatma? Because this is the natural phenomena. So what happens to this jivatma? Jivatma is the life, is the experiencer of life, is the pratibimb, is the reflected consciousness. Here it is told, he also goes back to the pure self, just as the light goes back to electricity. When you put the switch off, what happens to the light in the bulb? It goes back to the electricity, we will say. So we can say the ability of electricity to express as light doesn't cease with the fusing of one bulb. You put another bulb, again the light will come. Or that electricity is expressing as light in other bulbs. If one bulb has fused, nothing happens to electricity. Correct? Similarly, so also the Chidabhas, the reflected consciousness which manifested for a time being, was never real. The reflected sun in the waters is never real. It is only a reflected sun. Similarly, Chidabhasa, Chid Abhasa, Chid consciousness, Abhasa as if reflected consciousness. Reflection is not real, but appears to be. So this Chidabhas, which manifested for a short period of time, but was never real. Self alone is the reality. Chidabhas, Jivatma, or the Chidabhas, reflected consciousness, cannot be the reality. Sun alone can be the reality. Reflection of the sun, even if it is million times reflected, cannot be the real sun. Collection of all the reflections also is not equal to the real sun. Similarly, self alone is the reality. Then what is happening? The limitations, the conditionings, as if cover the reality, cover the atma, and become the consciousness or the reality with limitations is called as jiva. So this is what is called here as Vijnanatma Purushaha. The Jivatma is the Vijnanatma Purushaha. Vijnanatma, Vijnanamaya Kosh. Vijnana means what? Intellect, intellectual sheath. So what is happening in intellect? That is where the reflection of consciousness is possible. Therefore it is said as Vijnanatma. That is where another word for Vijnanatma is Chidabhas. In English, reflected consciousness. And this reflected consciousness in the deep sleep also goes back to the self. Therefore, conclusion is that the self is supporting all upadhis. That's why the self is called the Purushaha. And with this, we will conclude for today. The next verse says, he who has discovered the non-duality in this manner, what is the manner? As we have explained in this fourth question, then what will be the result of such person? That is told in the 10th verse. We'll look at it in our next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnahat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Sit quietly for a moment.